Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. Well, I'm still in a sunny Cabo haze of the best trip I've ever had. If you follow me on Instagram or any other social media, you will have seen I had the best time ever. And I am going to deliver you such a great episode today, which is my interview with Franjola and Sarah Colonna, who joined me. We had such a fun group. You're going to hear all about it. And we stayed at the most gorgeous place with the greatest accommodations. And a special thanks to Peter, who found this incredible deal at bluedesertcabo.com. And I'm going to put that website in my description of this podcast and on this YouTube so that you can see the special code at the end of the show, because you too could enjoy such an amazing deal. So here we go now with such a fun episode. I hope you guys enjoy it. Shot right at Casa Edwards through bluedesertcabo.com. Here we go. Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop, Comedians in Cabo, special edition. I'm here with Sarah Colonna and Franjola.
We're socially distanced. We have our masks on. We've taken tests. We're all fine. Isn't that what we have to say?
We're not having any fun.
Yeah, we're not having any fun.
No.
It's
torture.
So
we're
save it,
suffering.
everybody.
We're all in this together.
Yeah, right.
We're
okay.
outside.
Well, this is recording this on Saturday. The trip started Wednesday.
Yes.
But Chris and his wife, Liz, joined us Thursday. And just having the best time. I don't even know where to begin, but I guess we could start with last night's boat ride.
Took a boat ride last night, Sunset cruise. A lot of, Sarah Colonna plans a lot. You get a lot of...
he was going to start right away.
You get a lot of planning, a lot of...
I want to first say, now, we've been on group trips before, and Kim Kardashian put people on $1 million plane ride.
Right.
And they had a sunrise cruise planned where everyone had to
that's
get
like
up.
5 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with us, I said, I'd like to do one boat thing. And
it was her idea.
And,
for your fucking
and
record.
Sarah's like,
right.
we know this company, Cabo Sales. We can do it at noon or we could do it at 4 o'clock. We collectively decided, let's do it 4. I want people to have plenty of time to enjoy this gorgeous mansion.
Actually, you said
originally
noon,
I thought noon because I didn't know it would be that warm.
I butted in and said Chris Franjola will be mad because he wants all day by the pool.
Okay, yeah, he's a tanner, and so so we did the first night we ate at the house, but you're not here. Thursday night we went to this restaurant called Acre, which is kind of like the Flora Farms. So it's a bit of a drive. You see some cows along the way. It's a dirt road. And
it's a long way out, and it's a beautiful restaurant. But it was the house manager had told us to go. Right? And you're like, you have to go. It's like Flora Farms kind of, and it is it's definitely so far out that for a minute you're like, oh, are they taking us to cut our heads off? Is this it? Yeah,
and it's and it's a pretty long drive. So at that point, I was like, maybe this was
road.
too far of a restaurant. I could feel, a little bit of that in the car of this is a little far. But we had a really nice time. They had a DJ there.
I measure every car ride on how many phone calls Josh Flagg will make per car ride. How many calls to Melissa Rivers?
He does make a lot of phone calls.
On FaceTime,
right.
talking really
full
loud
volume.
in a little passenger, 8-passenger van or whatever.
I have to say, also with us is Dr. Drew and Susan Pinsky and Josh Flagg, $1 Million Listing of Los Angeles. And we've had some other high-profile guests join us via phone or FaceTime.
Yes.
The first night in which Sarah and John, they took a nap and woke up 18 hours later. So they missed dinner, which is completely fine.
It's the first night of vacation.
That's the time to miss
go
it.
To sleep early, but I could not believe. I went down. I could see John was, he was a little toasted, from some plain drinks and some day drinks, and so was I. And so he's like, I'm gonna go take a little, quick nap. We thought.
Nappy
so and I was like, oh, he looks so cute. I'm gonna lay down next to him. And that was it. 7 p.m. maybe, and then we woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and we were like, "Oh."
The thing
Guess we missed dinner.
about being in such a nice location like this, and we've gone through it several times here this weekend, is if somebody sleeps for an inordinate amount of time, we're just like, they might be dead, but like Heather says, let's not go see because then we'll have to end the vacation.
Once
if
we
they
know,
are dead, then you have to leave.
So speaking of which, so the first night we made, we did call Melissa Rivers. through
Yes.
Josh. And then I don't know if Dr. Drew called Heather Dubrow or if Heather Dubrow called us. You weren't there that first night. But
No,
so
I
we
didn't see
talked to
that.
Heather Dubrow
I missed that. I was
at that
asleep.
dinner. And she said, get the burger at Acre. Okay. So we knew. So we were going to the Acre. Then that night we went running around. And that's when I thought this house was the Pamia, but it was actually someone's house. And I went into their backyard from the beach. And that was a little risky.
Heather thought she was checking out a hotel and she wandered
Yeah.
into somebody's
Yeah.
home.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, no, this is the. I was like, ready to take off my clothes.
Did they? I wasn't with you. Like I was obviously
That was
in my,
that was the
during my
sleeping.
long. What
You were in a
did
REM
anyone-
sleep.
Did anyone react? Did anyone come to the door?
Yes, Peter said that he saw someone and they were panicked and they shut the the curtains and stuff. And then and we have it on video. Josh took video of it because he's like dying laughing. And I'm insistent that this is the Pamia Hotel. And it's not. It's
just
someone's home.
somebody's living
Yeah.
room.
Address. Yeah.
Yeah, and then last night when we were on the Cabo Sales boat, Lisa Vanderpump FaceTimed Dr. Drew.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
happen to see that.
Yeah.
So that was kind of fun. And then Josh. Oh, and then Josh
People
Flagg
love FaceTiming.
was
people. I
also
don't
on the
FaceTime
phone
anybody.
with Rick Caruso. For those who don't know, he's this huge businessman in Los Angeles. He owns all the Grove, all the shopping centers, and he's a board member at SC, and it was his mega yacht that his daughter and all her Kappa Gamma sorority sisters, Olivia
Jade.
Jade
That's right. She
happened
was
to be
on
on
that
when the
boat.
news broke
Yes.
about the scandal.
I do remember that.
And then to turn it all around, Josh Flagg just represented the buyer on the sale of
Laughlin's
Massimo's and Lori Laughlin's house.
Yeah. And where are they moving to?
He said they still had a big SC flag out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Still proud of it, Whatever.
Wave that flag. She was
Yeah.
on the rowing team or whatever.
They had to have it, for the fake
But let's get
pictures.
into the rowing team. So your wife,
Yes.
you guys have a great marriage. You
Sure.
have a little baby, but you have been suspicious of something in her past for
Well,
a while
when the
now.
Olivia Jade story broke, my wife also went to USC, and somehow she said, "Oh yeah, I also went to USC on a rowing scholarship, but I've never seen her row." Or
She didn't say it was scholarship.
Yeah,
she
so-
said she rowed in high school.
yes,
Okay.
and somehow it was on her application for. But I guess that was the thing. It was like, put rowing on, wink, wink. You don't really have. But like the more I asked my wife, the story cracks really quickly. It's like, where'd
When
you
we-
row?
when we were questioning
Marina
her,
Del Rey. It's
Yeah.
like a lot of that.
Well, because
she
the
said
school
that
she
would
went
be
to.
in the back and she would say things like,
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, she was a coxman. Or
She was a
something?
She
cox-
said she would have to yell
coxswain.
it, go starboard
Yeah,
or
no,
whatever.
they're gaining on us.
Yes,
they're
That's what-
gaining
yeah.
on
She
us.
finally came up with their
Right.
gaining on us after we were all interrogating. I mean,
Yeah.
she did. I would have thought there'd be more of a language to it.
No.
Like, on your left, bring it up. Like something a little bit. But no, I guess she was just one of those girls. And she is tiny. And I always remember they do like small people because you don't want to be pulling. You don't want somebody 300 pounds.
Right,
while
right,
you're-
right.
So she's a little person screaming.
They're
They're gaining on us.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
she did.
that's it. So I mean, I
got a
don't know
scholarship.
if her entire career USC career is a fraud, but she's done now. She's out.
Yeah,
and
no,
safe.
she got
Yeah.
poor thing.
And
She
there's
got real
kayak.
interrogated
There's
at dinner
kayaks
about
here.
it.
I wanted to see if she wanted to go on a kayak and start
Yeah,
screaming.
let's
but
see if she can.
But it
Yeah.
is a
Bring out
lot.
the
It's
skills.
kind of dangerous surf. They say like you could get sucked under.
Yeah, it's one of those places where you could get sucked under. Nobody would care. It's like, there's no lifeguards here or anything, so you would just
No.
die. The only
Nobody
lifeguard
looks
is
for
Dr.
you.
Drew and Peter.
Yeah, they
are
both were lifeguards, and they'll
But
let you know.
honestly, both of them, that's been a while now for
yeah.
both of them.
Dr. Drew is 60. Peter is, what are you, Peter? 55.
Yeah.
I enjoy Peter, but I wouldn't want to rely
mean,
on him to save my life.
And it's not like they're Navy SEALs.
That's what I'm
They
saying, yeah.
Lifeguards in San Diego, I don't think is.
yeah, I
And
don't
he
know.
was one in Newport. So Drew was one in Newport, and he was one in San Diego.
Right.
I mean, I don't think that's,
But it was at an ocean. They weren't like at a swimming pool.
No, it was an
public
ocean, and he
pool.
does tell about this one story of when he absolutely did save someone.
Peter.
Yes, didn't you
Wow.
say someone jumped off the pier or something? Many times he says he's definitely saved people.
Oh, okay.
But he's also taken me on some scary adventures in which, and now his newest thing is he's going to be a certified sailor skipper or whatever. If that is
Yeah.
not like, come on.
That's the beginning
The
of
kids
every.
are the
yeah.
kids are going to.
The
So this is what
midlife
we'll
is
do.
Every
Midlife,
dateline.
it's the
Every
midlife.
Once
dateline.
the kids are grown, baby, We're going to live our dream. We got our own boat.
He became a skipper
Next
very
thing
late
you know-
in life. It was very strange.
Next thing you know, Heather's at the
But he
bottom
was
of the ocean.
Yeah.
He was a lifeguard in San Diego.
He always loved the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Often boasted of it. He
Right.
did play water polo for UC San Diego.
Right.
Though one of the things I found out about him later is I said, where did you go to school? Not that this matters. He said, UC San Diego. I said, great. Not until year 10 did I realize that, and again, this doesn't matter. It's a great way to go. But I found out that, no, he went to the junior college and transferred. And I just said, that's just not that that matters, but like, you did not make it clear. I was telling everyone I'm marrying a guy who got a water polo scholarship to UC San Diego. And he didn't.
Yeah.
But he did play, and he does know how to swim. And I feel I am a strong swimmer, too.
I think you are.
You're a
I've
good
seen it.
swimmer.
We jumped in the water.
We jumped
off
in the water
boat.
last night. It was very warm,
Yeah.
very fun.
There was an incident
Yes, there was an incident.
on the boat.
Sarah, why don't you tell the story since you witnessed?
Well,
I did
let
not
me just say
witness
this
it.
before you tell the story. Josh Flagg, he seems to be, he walks around in some sort of like a little bit of a drunken haze,
Yes.
kind of, and his
he's on
phone is
vacation.
always out,
Always
but
on.
Always out.
He's always holding it very loosely. I was
Yes.
a little concerned about it, even looking.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so now
There
with
was
that,
a lot of phone calls, lots of
wait, but first,
FaceTiming.
let's talk about when I did think Josh Flagg was dead. So,
Oh, yes.
the first night, I was like, that morning, I go, okay, it's fine if you miss breakfast. Now it's 10:30, 11, and I'm like, when do I like knock on the bedroom?
I mean,
or whatever?
it was like
Now
1
12.
1 p.m.
Because-
and
and
Heather said, I said we should knock on the bedroom, and she said, but if he's dead, then we have to end the trip. And she goes, I mean, like it's too. You said it. We're going on a boat trip tomorrow. It's too early to spread the ashes.
Yeah,
His
yeah.
body's just in there.
Right. We could have probably put him in a
So
fire.
you can't
and-
just like you can't just stay on vacation if somebody passed in a hotel room.
Well,
on your
I
vacation.
certainly, as the host, I definitely would have to end my trip. Now, Sarah and John are going to another hotel tomorrow for another 2 weeks, so their time wouldn't have been ruined. She just didn't met him.
Yeah.
That's true.
Weird
I
and
barely
sad.
even. In fact, I slept through most of even getting to meet him. So
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
even.
yeah,
I was
there was
asleep
no
by 7
relationship.
p.m. We hadn't really
No.
bonded yet.
No
you know?
relationship there.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he did stroll out of there, and he said, "Don't you remember I told you last night I'm going to miss breakfast?" I'm like, "Well, no, because I was in someone else's home thinking it was a hotel. So no, I don't, remember you telling me that." And then we did a juicy crime on this on Patreon, but I woke up in the middle of the night because we didn't know how to turn off the lights in our room, and I went to one of the empty bedrooms, and came in at 7 a.m. Peter's laying on the bed, looking at his phone, and I go, "So, did you just wake up?" He goes, "No, I got up at 3, and I finally figured out how to turn off the light." And I go, "Okay, and did you wonder where I was? Because I was
Yeah.
not there at 3. And he's like, "No, never looked in the bathroom, never wondered if I went for a midnight swim
Yeah.
and is now dead."
And now
Well,
gone.
she was worried-
having sex with
that, and she was very concerned
Yeah.
that he wasn't jealous at all, that maybe she had turned this into like a swingers vacation.
Yes.
She goes, I
Yeah.
could have been having sex with John. I could have been
having
know,
sex
and
with Dr. Drew.
I was like, I don't
Wow.
think
I could have been experimenting with lesbianism with Sarah or Susan. I could
Susan
have.
Pinsky.
Yeah, I could have been trying to turn Josh Flagg straight.
Uh-huh.
All of it.
That's going to
That's
be a
not
tall
happening.
order. yeah, yeah.
That's probably the least likely.
That's
of
a
it
tough
all.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, he's like, no. And then I was like, yeah, because if you didn't even go. Now we have 2 separate bathrooms. Like, you didn't even look in my bathroom.
Right.
But he's like, no, because I know he's thinking if I was bludgeoned to death or slipped and bled out, he would touch me, and then the blood would be on his hands, and then that would not help his case.
Yeah.
Well,
Better
you have
that you
to.
just don't look and just look like a guy that doesn't care.
I mean,
You
honestly,
have to think ahead. You know, I told you the story that we watched that
Yes, tell.
documentary, The Staircase.
My
or that,
favorite.
about that murder, and
Which
right
is
out.
to remind people, this guy came up from having a glass of red wine. His wife had got up, a little bit before him, and she was at the bottom of the staircase, bludgeoned. I mean, her head looked Some people thought it was bludgeoned. Some think, oh, she must have slipped down the stairs. Anyway, the case goes on for 10 years, and he does do time for it. And after it concluded, what did your husband do?
Well, we were watching it, and we have a room above the garage that we've turned into what we call the pandemic room, where we watched shows, and it's like a nice
cute
little room with a big TV and theater chairs. And we were walking, and it's kind of a steep staircase, and we were walking out after that, and John ordered a little security camera for the top of those stairs because he said,
Have an alibi.
I'm not going out like that.
Right.
He said, you're a drinker. I'm not going out like that. I'm not going to be blamed for this.
Wow.
The Sarah cam, it's labeled.
I wonder how many other people have put cams in their house, because we have the Ring, which is great. A couple spots as you go outside where I plug in my car at night. There's a Ring there, and then there's a Ring when I walk in the door. But we don't have any cameras inside the house.
I think you should get some now, and then for when times that you do leave, and then you can just watch playback and just watch Peter relax and not worry at all about where you are, like smoking a cigar and reading books and magazines or whatever he's doing, and not even looking for you. And you can just watch that and just feel rage and anger at him.
I also think there's definitely times when you're just in an art, when you say, no, I did tell you that. No, you didn't. And you're like, God, I wish I could play back the tape.
I went to a party at Sarah Colonna's house one time, and I think I brought a cake to the party, and then I was leaving, and I took the cake back because not allowed, because I wanted it at my house, and they caught me on their ring.
Wait a minute. Had nobody even sliced into
I think
it, or you
took
took what was left?
You took what was left.
Well, I took what was left back.
And we saw on our front door camera him like sneaking out with a bunch of it.
And they sent it to me the next day. They
hilarious.
were like, did you take that cake back? I'm like, no. And they're like, what's this? And there I was on their front lawn with the cake in my hand at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, wait, we never got to the tragedy of who we did lose last night.
Yes, so we'll go back to that.
So,
we're on the boat.
So we're on the boat, Sarah. Go ahead. What happened?
Well, Josh was, wheeling and dealing or whatever he was doing on his phone. And
talking to Rick Caruso.
Next thing you know, it flies out of his hand and right into the ocean. I mean, we just watched it sink. There was nothing.
It all happened so fast.
Yeah.
It just flew right out.
Yeah.
It was great. I mean, there was no... And he didn't even really...
He was like, no, well... And then,
he didn't really have a reaction.
Then he proceeded to get pretty drunk.
Yeah, but I think it started to weigh on him later that what had happened. It all happened so fast that I think it was.
It didn't really hit him.
It took
and then
about 20 minutes for it to, because I saw him at one point just look completely defeated, sitting there. I just lost. I think Melissa Rivers was on the phone, just as you saw it floating to the bottom of the thing.
He was. The best part was Liz was Chris's wife. Liz was standing there when it happened, and she, we saw nobody could really do anything. She didn't react. Well, she didn't even react. Well, my hat almost flew off the boat. Liz almost died trying to save my hat. She grabbed the hat.
Yeah.
She almost went over the side trying to save my hat. I was like, you care so much more about me than you do Josh Flagg's phone. Thank you.
Absolutely. And then I was like, there was one text message between Josh and me and maybe one other person, which was his assistant or something. And thank God, so we had the assistant's number. But thank God, Susan Pinsky, mother of triplets, who are now in their late 20s.
She went to work.
She handles business.
She spent an hour and a half. She happened to bring.
They had a burner phone,
She had an extra
which
phone
is
that she
very
brought-
suspicious. That's
Wait,
like
let's
drug
talk
dealers.
about
On
that.
vacation.
Or cheaters.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So they brought a burner phone on vacation, which then they were able to.
She said she
give
always
the
has an
number.
extra phone.
all his info.
Yeah, she gave him access to everything. She sent it over and set him up while he proceeded to sit at dinner and take a nap on your wife.
Yeah, he's one of
It's like
those
a
guys
little
who
nap.
just sleeps sitting up.
Yes.
Like
At a dinner. Just like this. It was like this.
Yeah, and then pops up and is just completely sober and ready to go again.
He goes, I feel refreshed. Did I take a nap? And I was like, yes, you sure did.
Yeah.
And then he was fine the whole night, rest of the night.
Yeah, he was back to business.
Back to business. No phone.
No phone. And then
Still not awake.
Right. Oh, he's still here,
11:38.
right?
Yeah, his flight's at 3:45.
Oh, he should start getting moving.
I mean, yeah, after this, I guess we'll check on him. Now I don't care. Now we're just going to keep our flight tomorrow no matter what.
Let's also say this.
Yes.
For anybody who's ever gone on a vacation or a group vacation like this.
Yes.
If it happened this yesterday, the day before. if you happen to see us, and it's probably very exciting if you do.
Yes, I
so
would
there's
think
a
so.
girl. We were walking on this beach right here, and it was Colonna, myself, and Heather. And this girl's just walking down the beach. There's nobody on the beach
With her
except
husband.
us and her and her husband. And she turns out to be a Juicy Scoop fan.
She said she heard my voice.
Yeah, freaks out.
Yes.
She
Can't
knew all
believe
of
that
us.
She's seen all three of us. And I encourage everybody to do what she did. Make a fool of yourself on how much you gush over us, because that's what we want.
We wanted it
Don't
so bad.
pretend you
So
don't-
then she's like, we're staying at the Pumia
She was
Hotel.
very sweet.
And I said, all right, maybe we'll stop by around noon tomorrow. Well, come 12 o'clock yesterday, I was like, let's go find
They were
our
very
one
nice,
friend, our
great
one
people.
fan. And Sarah turned it down. Other people turned it down. I was like, Chris almost didn't come. And I'm like, Chris, remember the olden days? Come on, let's
Yeah.
go.
It
Went
happened.
down there. I immediately recognized her husband. Went right into that pool. Met another couple. Mm-hmm. They bought us 2 drinks each. I think you 3.
Well, I had 3.
And took
They
photos.
like you better, maybe.
And normally I would go. Normally, if somebody buys me a drink, I'm like, no, it's fine. Like, I'll get it. This time I was like, yeah, go ahead, keep them coming.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
enough is enough. Like, I need something for
I
them
want
being,
my-
being
yeah.
a
and
C-list
we
celebrity.
entertained them so much. Like,
I know.
hands down, we're the highlight of the trip. I was doing. I came up with a joke that I'm going to say right now, so I don't forget it. But they were young. They had a 2-year-old. They might want to have more. This other couple was engaged. They might have kids. They're not sure. And I said, we're talking about names. I go, I named my son Brandon. That's 9 letters. And then I would get shit like, oh, he can't spell it yet? I'm like, your son's name is Max. Like, don't pick an easy name.
It's 7 letters.
Brandon is?
Brandon is 7 letters.
Yeah, there's 7
Wait,
letters.
B-R-A-N.
D-O-N.
Wait.
D-O-N.
Yeah, 7.
7. Still, Max is 3. Okay, so when
Yeah.
Max was able to write his name and Brandon wasn't, it was like, come on. And one is
It's
an
more
X.
letters. Yeah.
That's a very easy. So I'm
Do
just
you
saying.
think maybe Brandon couldn't spell his name because you didn't know how to spell it? Do you think maybe that was the problem?
Possibly.
It probably could have been. I would like to say one thing about the planning thing that Chris Franjola keeps trying to say. I'm a big
Well,
planner.
there are-
No.
Okay.
Let me speak.
Go ahead.
I am not a plan. On vacation, John and I literally don't do nothing. We read books. We both have a lot of
wait,
things
can
on our
we-
Kindles. We lay by the pool. We don't do anything. We'll go on a boat ride.
I want
but,
to talk about that
that's
Kindle
it.
in a minute. That's
Okay.
also very
Oh, yes,
suspicious.
it's okay.
Go on.
That's it. Dinners, whatever. Chris Franjola now has me say he calls Sally Sarah planner or whatever. He's telling me that I'm a planner. You wanted to do the boat. I set it up. I come through. I follow
No,
through.
the boat was great. The 9 restaurants.
There's not
like,
9
these-
restaurants.
Every restaurant we pulled up,
We've
they're like,
only
this
been-
is what Sarah and John like,
We've
and this is
been
where
to
we're
one
going.
restaurant. Oh, well, we went to one last night. Who
Yes.
planned to go
So
to
that one we went to this place called Dock because we knew we would be hungry.
Right.
And
And
the
that would
guy
be the other night
suggested it,
out,
and
and
I
then-
happened to say, "Oh, we have been there. It is good."
And
I
then
backed it up.
tonight, which is
Okay.
our last
Okay.
I'm a
night.
world traveler.
Right.
Okay, I've been to places.
Yeah, I got
You just
got
sit
you.
around and
Yeah, I don't
complain
like to do anything.
and get free beers from fans.
3 beers. Most people would say after 1 or 2, like, you've given me enough. I was like, no, I'll take another one. Thank you.
I appreciate it. I was worried that I would start drinking too early on this vacation and that you would judge me.
I was more concerned
I
with
have-
the couple that we met in the pool. You weren't there, but I don't know if you talked to them. They were very nice.
Yes.
People, a little older.
And
like,
she's
they
had
just
the big
got
diamond.
married.
No,
Yeah.
just got engaged.
They just got engaged. And she was telling me they've been friends, like best friends for like 11 years, like romantic
No.
comedy.
Oh
And
my
then-
God,
and
I
then
missed
she was
that
like,
part.
And we just decided, you know what? Fuck it. Let's get married. And they did, or get engaged or whatever. But they had been friends for 11 years, like best friends.
and
had-
not
had-
pony.
And
Had
both
they done it
married.
before?
No. That's what I gathered from talking to them.
That's amazing.
I like that. That's a nice way to go. That's a nice.
Yeah,
they're
that
good
It's
to
like
know.
it's like the plot line of like my best friend's wedding. Wasn't that it?
Yeah, all those
Like-
weddings, it was always like, if we're both not married by 30, we can kill ourselves or marry each other. It's like, 30? Really?
Yeah.
There were so many movies
like
like
that.
that.
That
And
was a-
it's
that
like,
was a-
you feel
yeah.
shitty about yourself. I know you run a corporation, and your apartment's gorgeous, but you're almost 30 and you're not married yet. So,
no, they really used to really try to rush you into it. I guess.
yeah.
Yes. Bring
Wait,
up
speaking
the
the Kindle.
thing.
So she and John both read on their Kindles, and I look over and I believe it's a Kindle, but I'm like, maybe it's a mini iPad, and maybe he's listening to music. John still thought it was an interesting choice of music. It wasn't. It was a book cover, and it was called That Boy. And it was a young blonde girl who was piggybacking onto a very hot-looking guy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, is that a country song that he's listening to? She's like, no, that's his Kindle, but for some reason he just gets a lot of advertisements for stuff like that.
Like when it's off, it's an ad. It's not what you're reading. It's
I know,
an ad
but
for something. Yeah,
they
do it on your algorithm
I think
or
they
something.
think that John identifies as a 16-year-old country girl who likes like modern day romance novels.
Yes, he gets a lot of suggestions for odd.
The other one that was this morning was My
romance.
Forever Guy was the other book that they're trying to
They're
sell
like
him.
teenage romantic.
Yeah.
books.
Yeah.
Very weird. Like,
Well, he's reading Sweet Valley High, so that's probably why he's getting it. He's reading it.
He doesn't He's like, I don't understand why I keep getting these, and I'm like,
Right.
something in your search history has made them believe that this is what you're into.
oh, I just got a request to DM somebody about being a sugar dad. If I wanted a sugar daddy.
Oh, you mean
Under one of my bikini photos.
They were asking you like?
Yeah, they're
were
like
the-
interested in having a sugar daddy and be spoiled. DM me.
Did you DM him?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Oh, I'm waiting to hear back. It's
Yeah.
a private account, so I had to follow
I always
the
feel
account.
like they don't have the money. Like they say they're going to be, but I don't think they got the. Like these yachts you see out here. It's
Yes.
not that kind of money. This
No.
guy will get you.
No.
you'll
It's
you
like
could
it's
get
just
two
to
sides.
Yeah, it's to get you hooked in. Two sides.
Like if you went to like a play.
Oh, also he was very mad about the side ordering that we did at Acre, Chris.
Oh, yeah, he didn't like
well,
that.
I mean,
We
it
did 2
was-
orders of summer vegetables or something.
Yeah.
Garden
That was
vegetables.
an accident, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think we even ordered those.
They were good though.
Well,
he was very
I
angry
mean,
about-
when you go to places like that, you want fun stuff, But
Yeah.
Kelowna went. I mean,
I ordered 3 orders of cheddar biscuits.
She went hard on summer vegetables.
I didn't order the summer vegetables. That was I think that was a mistake.
I was like, nobody goes, whoa, delicious cauliflower.
I didn't order them,
They had-
and I didn't eat any of them.
They
I
had
ordered a
cheddar
steak and
motherfucking
mushrooms.
biscuits
Yeah,
on the.
and Heather tried to only order one round thing
I
of them, and
know,
there
like
was
a la-
2.
like Red
I
Lobster
said 3.
style.
I said yes, and who made sure you had 3 orders?
of cheddar biscuits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who did?
I did. There was one left on the plate, and I would have taken it, but I gave it. I gave it to Dr. Drew.
I
He
didn't get
wanted it.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Speaking of which,
Whatever.
Dr.
sorry.
Drew was interrogated last night. Chris must have asked him 800 questions
Yes.
about every season of Celeb Rehab.
I used to
Sober House,
love-
each character. I mean, and
well, it is
He's a
interesting.
good. I think he does
and-
like to talk about.
No,
it,
he
which
does.
Is good.
He's
down
to
He-
talk
yeah.
about
and
it.
it's great. Like I'll tell you what I was also I'm fascinated. I love Dr. Drew to begin with.
yes. Who
And I
doesn't?
used to love Sober House. We all remember the Jeff Conaway breakdowns on. I mean, it was so compelling, the TV. And I was always
compelling or compelling?
compelling television, right?
Yes.
I was always like
Compelling.
did you I was reading a book to my little kid the other day.
Yeah.
And it was and I kept saying eggcorn. And my wife's like, "What the fuck are you saying?" And I'm like, "Eggcorn." She goes, "It's not eggcorn, it's eggcorn." Like AC.
Yeah.
I said,
Eggcorn.
"Oh, I thought it was eggcorn."
Your whole life.
Yeah, my whole life. I made it till like a week ago thinking it was eggcorn.
What was the other one that you learned late in life? All intense.
BOGO. I didn't know it was buy one get one until about a month ago. BOGO. I thought it was a brand name. They were like, "We got a BOGO sale." I'm like, "Oh, what? Oh, that's a brand name."
Isn't it like an iced tea where you have gummies in it?
No, oh,
it's
that's
a BOGO.
no,
It's
that's-
like
that's
a buy one.
Boba.
It means
That's
stands
Boba.
for buy one get one
That's
free.
Bobo.
Yeah, boba.
Whatever.
How do you spell Brandon?
BRANDON. Why did I think there was 9 letters in that?
I don't know, but there wasn't.
I want to read a story to you guys that I
Okay.
think you'll really enjoy.
Eggcorn.
And I think these are the things that make you go, you know what? I'm grateful I'm married. Okay. Woman 32. We've all been a single woman. Well, I was married at 32, but a lot of single women are 32. Woman 32 called off her wedding to a ghost after he changed on holiday to Thailand and fell in with the wrong crowd of spirits, despite the pair joining the Mile High Club on the flight there.
Wait, she fucked a ghost on a flight?
She not only fucked a ghost, she was in a full-blown relationship and engaged.
With the ghost.
And then he ghosted her. This is not a joke. This is from the Daily Mail. They actually interviewed her in Australia.
So she was going to marry a ghost, and then
Yes.
he cheated on her?
Yes. She's from Bristol. She fell in love with a ghost. His name was Ray on a trip to Australia. That's when they met. And spiritual guidance counselor was planning to marry. She was planning to marry and have
She's
a baby with
spiritual
the
guidance counselor?
Yeah.
Well, that's not great.
And she was planning to marry and have a baby with him.
How does that work? How do you get pregnant from a ghost?
It's only can be half seen. I don't know. She communicated with the spirit called Ray through energies and feelings, and Ray sadly changed on a holiday to Thailand. Just absolutely changed personalities. He stopped caring and wasn't in touch. And then she says the ghost also. Ghost also had to socially distance during pandemic as they feared illness.
It's already, yeah.
She had to socially distance from the ghost. She was afraid she was following all the pandemic rules to the ghost. So he changed. Oh my God. And they plan on getting married. And she appeared on the morning show in Australia, and she's called off the big day. It was just, they had the worst disastrous holiday in May. She suspected her fiance of drinking and doing drugs.
The ghost,
he sounds like a
Ray.
fun
With the
ghost.
Thailand people.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable, hilarious.
And
she had
why did
sex
they break
in
up?
the bathroom?
He fucked Casper.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Because
It's the only ghost I could think
he
of.
started doing drugs, and when people's significant other starts doing drugs, their personality changes. They're not as, into them. He's out all hours of the night.
The ghost, yeah. And
The ghost.
It was just Halloween.
She
That's
was
that's a big holiday for ghosts. He was probably swamped.
He was swamped, yeah.
It goes West Hollywood gays and then ghosts.
Yeah, that's a huge holiday.
It's
for
it's the
ghosts.
main holiday for West Hollywood gays, but it's also a big deal for ghosts.
It's a big deal for ghosts.
Right.
So
And
he-
slutty cat.
She got tired of him not being around, and he gets burned out. He probably needed a vacation
Yeah.
after Halloween. He was so tired. Can you explain to me how you're supposed to how you're supposed to marry a ghost? Like, were people going to go to the wedding?
She said, "Oh God!"
And then
they
is that?
I guess
like,
they had the same thing with like everybody else. Like, do we go forward with the wedding? Do we, how do we do a smaller wedding? Like, what's going to happen?
Do you think when she's like talking to her friends, her other single friends, and she's like, "Oh, this guy ghosted me," she's like, "You can't use that
Don't
term."
please.
Like,
Yes, I'm sensitive.
Yeah,
I've actually been ghosted.
Yeah.
I've actually been ghosted by a ghost. They said it's the holiday.
Yeah.
That was the last time they were together. It started off to a great start. And they had sex.
Did she have to buy him a plane ticket, or just how does that work? Does he?
I don't
for
think.
free?
Well,
They were in a Mile High Club.
Yeah,
She
they
fucked
had
him on the
sex
plane.
in the toilet of the plane, so you don't
Yeah.
have to worry about not fitting. And
How are you going to follow pandemic rules and then go have sex in a nasty bathroom on a plane?
I don't know. And then their romance soon came crashing down after his partying became too much for her. I think maybe he started doing drugs and partying a bit much. These spirits would stay for days.
Oh.
They would be crashing and banging and doing strange noises. So not only did he go do the drugs, he
She had a
brought
lot of friends.
he brought the druggy friends home
Yeah,
to their
and they
place.
were making a ruckus. Wow.
Sounds like this guy should.
I always feel
this
for
guy
like-
should hook up with Josh Flagg. They'd be a fun couple to hang out together. The Ghost and Josh Flagg.
Yeah.
Partying and the sleeping late.
Okay, so the host asked her, how exactly did Ray do drugs? And whether he was partying in the physical or spiritual. She cleared things up and she said, I think partying in both, judging by him disappearing for a while and then coming back to mine. So she thought he was not only partying in the real world, but he was also partying with drug spirits.
Yeah, right.
So he was like double bad.
I often feel for like the family members of these people. 'Cause
Yeah.
they, obviously they have some sort of mental problem, and you have to pretend like it's a normal thing. Like, is Ray here? Yes, Ray's here. You're like, oh, I don't know. I can't see him. He's a ghost. But, yeah. And you
Oh,
have
like
to-
you would with like a little child that has like a make-believe friend.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
pretend. You have to be
Right.
like, oh, like, she probably comes in, like she goes to dinner and she sees 8 chairs. There's supposed to be 9 because
Would
she
you
has Ray
rather
with her. And she's like, oh, you guys just act like he's not here. You didn't
Right.
set a chair for Ray, huh? Yeah, and they're like,
Yeah,
oh,
you
sorry.
gotta
Here's
play along.
Ray's chair.
Would you rather have your daughter grow up and fall in love with a prisoner or a ghost?
Well, a prisoner, Yeah, like one that stays in prison. You don't want him to get out.
Yeah, well, she said, you know what? I tried to talk to Ray, and I gave him one chance after another, and he just didn't change. And in the end, I did a sage cleaning, and I just had to get rid of him in a way that I wouldn't want any other spirit, that I would want get all the spirits out. And anyway, they had planned to wed in a Wookiee hole caves in Somerset. And she explained that both her and Ray's families were heartbroken by the news that the engagement was off.
Yeah.
So her family and his family.
Is his family ghost people too, or is
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if how she met his family. Wait, let me see if there's more.
And, like, do you have to can you imagine being that wedding planner and having to be like, oh my God, and I have to get a tux for a ghost and like.
You know what's sad about this woman is she's actually making excuses for this dick ghost.
And how old is she?
32. She
Yeah.
said,
she's
you
young.
know what?
You think that's what's sad about her?
That's what she said. She goes, you know what? This could be the stress of the pandemic, which was causing Ray to act out, revealing that ghosts too have to socially distance from one another in fear of getting ill. And ghosts have to socially distance, of course, and it just affects us, all of us.
Do they have
They'd
ears
get
to keep
ill
their
as
mask
we
on, or how
would.
does that work? Like, do they have a mask? Or does it just
Like the
fall?
Invisible Man, you just see a mask like walking around. Ghosts can get ill, asked Phil as she was. Yeah, they can. Okay. And she talked him through energy and emotion and feelings rather than words. And while she's devastated at her loss, she hasn't ruled out dating another ghost.
Yeah.
Girl, don't give up. Get your ghost back.
Yeah.
Get
Where-
your group back.
Is there
Where
an
did they
app?
meet?
I think they have an app. For
She's free and she's single at the moment, to be
Bumble.
honest.
Bumble.
Not.
Bumble.
Bumble. They met on
Yeah,
Bumble.
They met on Bumble. Thank you.
She said, "Oh, put in your bamboo."
Yeah. Boo. Get it? I'm a ghost.
Anyway, she's not opposed to meeting another ghost, but right now she's free and single.
32
Well,
years old.
Look
yeah.
out, Australia or wherever she's from. There's a lady
Sounds
on
English.
the loose.
She's getting married. She's getting married at a place called the Wookiee Hole.
I think that's where.
I think that's where the ghost put it in on that flight. Let me put in you Wookiee Hole. I assume he's English.
We
Ghosts don't have an
right
accent.
before I left for Cabo, I came across the Miss USA contest.
Yes, I was watching it as well.
Do you know? I thought I hope Chris knows this is on because
Yeah. But did you see how far down the cable channels
It was
it's fallen?
FYI.
Yeah.
I
like
didn't
it used
even
to be
know
on
that.
like CBS or
Right.
ABC. Now I had to go FYI it was on.
Now, when you were growing up as a kid, is that something that you guys watched as a family? Because we did.
Yes, we did. We would. It was always so fun to like kind of goof on it. You know, me and my
Yes.
brothers would love kind of like goofing on the pageants. There was nothing better than goofing on.
Did you watch them as a kid?
I never really watched pageants.
My dad used to get pieces of paper out, and then we'd all start guessing who's going to be in the top 10, the top 5, who's going to win. And there's Miss USA where there's no talent. Miss America has the talent.
Yes.
Oh.
And my mom always said, wait, in the beginning of the pageant, they always do Miss Congeniality and Miss Photogenic, okay?
Yeah.
She said, Miss Congeniality never wins because that means everybody likes her. So she's not going to be the winner. The winner is going to be someone nobody likes. And my mom was right. Miss Congeniality has never won. And
That's
then,
just the prize for like being the nice
yeah, they
person.
would just be like, and now, before we get to like the finals, we're going to just give out these like, and who's like most photogenic, like who'd be the best model. And then, but it was so weird that like some of the contestants had masks on and then others didn't.
Oh yeah, yeah.
this
yeah,
Wasn't it
that's
weird
right.
the
Yeah,
way
it
they
was
filmed
weird,
it?
Yeah.
And then like
And who won? Miss Louisiana or Miss? She was
Oklahoma, I think.
no, it was like Louisiana, I think, or something like that.
This one girl fucked up so bad on the question. Remember the girl in the red? I
yeah,
can't remember.
I was
All
kinda
the
half
questions
watching.
were like Black Lives Matters.
Gun control. That girl, the girl who won, did a whole thing on gun control.
Oh, because she's like, I grew up with guns.
Yeah, her
And-
father's in prison.
He is?
Yeah.
How'd you find that
I
out?
read her backstory. I mean, she's going to be Miss USA. She's going to represent our country. I want to know something about her.
What did the dad do to get in
I
prison?
don't know, but he's in prison.
Because I thought like what she said was, for people that do believe in guns or raised with guns, she's like, I've been raised with guns. I know how to use guns. I suggest we spend more time educating the people before they purchase them, how to use
Yeah.
them, whatever. Okay, I thought that was interesting. There's other girl in red. Everyone, by the way, had such a high slit dress on, and I can't find those.
You have the body for it. I can't.
I know.
Wear one of those.
Like the dresses. I mean, they're so much more sexy now. The dresses and everything. I didn't watch the whole thing, so I missed the bathing suit part.
I don't think they were allowed to do bathing suit
Oh,
anymore.
they didn't do bathing suit.
I think that's
well,
how.
these dresses were very, very sexy, and every girl's body was amazing. And then so this one girl, I don't know what her question was, but at the end she goes, and then I just, oh, all right. And I was like, I'm like, she's number 5.
That's
She
gotta be the worst.
completely shit on it
Right.
and didn't even try to recover her fuck up.
That's what you watch for, though. We all watch
Yeah.
for the one girl who, just completely blows it during the
Yeah.
Q&A portion. And it happens with every single one of
They
them.
get nervous, I
Yeah,
guess. But
right.
but yet there was one big one like
Oh,
last
remember
year.
the girl and such? It was a very famous viral.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just went.
Well, now you remember when Steve Harvey fucked up and said, because it was always so
Yes.
The
confusing.
wrong name.
The way they would always do it is they'd go, and the first runner-up is, so you're Miss Arkansas, I'm Miss California. And the first runner-up is Miss Arkansas, and then they show your face, and then they go to mine, meaning I
that means
won.
you won.
You're first runner-up.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was so confusing. Well, since that Steve Harvey really fucked up, wasn't it Steve
Yeah,
Harvey?
Steve Harvey, yeah.
He said now they just go, it's down to the 2. And now they just go, and our new Miss America is Miss California.
That
They
Right.
don't
makes
even
more sense,
mention
yeah.
Arkansas. And I'm sorry that I made myself
I know.
the winner. But
I know. Why can't Arkansas ever win anything? Thanks. But it is weird because you're not really giving you're taking the moment away actually from
Yeah.
the person because you're not even you're announcing this, so now we know, right? Okay.
What
I
do
like
they
that
go on
do.
to do? Like they always say, when they have it for a year and then they give their crown to the next winner.
Right.
And they say they serve their duties well. But what are the duties of like Miss USA? Just to go to great grand openings of stores
car
and
lots.
stuff?
the other
Yeah,
thing
car lots.
my mom always said is she'd always say, look how much when the Miss USA or Miss America did their final walk, my mom would go, look how fat she's gotten. It's because she went to all those free lunches. And it was true. They were always like
Yeah.
a solid. And then they'd show them when they got crowned and they had skinny arms and everything. And then a year later, it was like way more curvy.
They got to
Right.
go to.
And I was like, God, I mean, if I ever come to USA, I'd have to watch it but I would have.
Because your mom would call you fat.
Yeah, but I would have all those luncheons, though I've never definitely back in the day, it was more like you would get.
Do they visit,
they
like,
were doing the
troops?
history. They were they would get signed to like a movie studio right off the bat.
right. Well, that's when back in the old days.
Yeah.
Do they visit like troops or something? Like what
There's
do they
a lot
do?
of
I
that.
don't know what
A
they
lot
do.
of they go
Yeah.
visit troops and.
I want to say it is a lot of luncheons and teas and
Yeah.
stuff. And I
Sounds
guess
nice.
because they postponed this so long, she was the one that gave up her crown. She was it for like a year and almost 2 years
Right.
because they had to push back the pageant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you ever been a pageant person? Like before you get to like the high end Miss America, Miss USA.
Yes.
There's a lot of local ones that are like in Sheridan.
I've definitely
conference
told
rooms.
I've definitely told the story on the show, so I'm going to get through it quickly. But yes, I was in the Miss Tarzana contest. It was held at the Warner Center Marriott. It was a horrible experience. I wasn't even picked top 10.
And how many people were in it?
This realtor woman ran
11.
it, and she. This realtor friend of my mom's, I just graduated from SC, ran the pageant, and she just was like, "Your daughter would be great in it." And my mom goes, "Do you want to be in this pageant?" And so then Miss Tarzana would go to Miss California, and Miss California was going to be at Disneyland, and I knew from watching the Miss California contest, which was televised on TV, so I would have been on TV. Then they also get to spend a day at Disneyland with the sign,
With
and
the
they get to
sash.
go to the front of the line.
Oh wow.
Oh, that would have been
is-
nice.
that's
So
some-
I
that's a
was
perk.
like, and then this woman
That's better than
just
luncheons.
kept convincing me that like I had it in the bag. She's like, "You're gonna win this. Like, you went to SC and everything." And this was the first time I did some impression of Cher, and she goes, "We don't have a
a talent portion.
we don't have a talent portion, but I'm gonna make it that your question is for you to do your Cher impression."
Oh.
Oh, I wish there was.
Like-
Is there?
But I didn't
video?
get to the top 10.
Oh.
So I'm standing there. My dad bought a table at the Woodland Hills Marriott. Okay.
So they're all waiting for yeah.
And then it gets down to all the number, and that's it. Like, I didn't get the top 10. My
Okay,
time
but
is over.
what
And I
was
go-
your-
Can
My
we
dad
hear-
threw down the napkin, and he goes, "This is fucking bullshit. Let's get the fuck out of here."
Wow.
And my friend to this day was like, "Holy shit!" She was there, Liz. And then I told the woman, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave." And she's like, "Heather, like what a horrible." Like she's like, "Please, like that is the sorest loser. Like I can't believe." So I'm like, "Fine." What happened is right towards the end. Okay, we're about to do the pageant. The last day you could get in. We had a meeting about it, and she goes, "Oh, we just got this girl that's gonna apply." She walks in. She had come from Wisconsin. She was about 28 years old. She would find places that had a shitty contest that she thought she could win.
Yeah.
She wasn't even from here,
How
but she
could
just like
get
lived in some
how could
apartment.
Miss Wisconsin can't be Miss Tarzana. You
She
got
was
robbed.
never Miss Wisconsin, but she was. But then, as long as she lived there, and as long as you
Oh.
had a sponsor, so mine was White House Properties, the real estate company. This other girl, it was the Ace Hardware store. You know, like everyone had
Yeah,
someone.
right.
And then, but I was devastated. I was embarrassed. The following Monday, I get a call saying, "Would you like to? We'd like to offer you free photos."
Oh, that's like a
Went to downtown LA,
yeah.
got my free photos, but then to get the negatives was like $1,200.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Wait,
That was-
I wish you would have had to answer a question
And
as
Cher. I wanna hear the Cher impression.
I don't
Yeah.
even
Would've
get. Okay,
been-
ask me a question. I'm going to try, but I don't
Okay.
even do Cher
Okay.
very well.
I'll be there.
and we haven't seen
I'll
Cher
the
like be
pageant.
interviewed in like 30 years. So I don't.
So Heather, if you if you win Miss Tarzana, what will you do for our community?
Well, I turn back time.
Wow. Wow.
I would find the way.
They really made a mistake. Not.
Out of back of the hood, you'd say, "Let's go down Ventura Boulevard."
Wow.
Can you imagine people's faces when she just started talking
Yeah.
in Cher? If she would have, oh God, I wish she would have been in this. I wish she would have made it.
Ah.
I'm sorry.
I
that
love
you
your dad
Then
though for like being
one
like,
of the-
fuck this. This is
Yeah.
bullshit.
And then my sister belonged to a gym, and that gym gave that fake Miss Tarzana a year free membership. So my sister, is in the gym, and she sees the girl walk in with the sash
Oh, it's
on
working.
to get a tour.
Yeah. Miss Tarzana.
Miss Tarzana at like 24 Hour Fitness or whatever the fuck it was.
God. Oh, that's so. I never was in like any, but I did used to. A Catholic priest used to make me and my friends lift weights, and then he would, and then he would judge our calves. And
well, that's
I know I'm not kidding. That's
Very-
a
But
real
wait,
story.
hold on. I have a question. If you
So that was like a
if you
pageant.
were wearing pants, did you lift up your leg, or did he say, "Oh, it'll be easy if you just take off your pants for me
Well,
to
we
see
were
your
in
calves"?
shorts. He made us put on shorts.
You had to arrive in shorts.
Go home, put on shorts, come back, do some workouts, show us your calves, and then he would
Rate you.
rate everybody's calves. We didn't think anything of it at the time. We were like, this is a pretty serious muscle contest, and you want to. And then later on, we were like, wait a minute. I was a little suspicious that priest was making a show.
Did you ever tell your parents?
Even they were like, you don't have, they were like, I don't know. I mean, you don't have great calves. I wouldn't. No, my parents, they didn't even like question it. I'm like, what are you guys doing down at the church? We're working out for the priest, and we're doing, showing him our muscles.
Yeah.
Like
Oh.
14-year-old boys.
Where's that guy in
Wait,
prison now? Is that
Well, I mean, I don't know. He never did anything like it never got to anything
Well,
further
it's
than
not
that.
a
other
crime
than-
unless you act on it.
That's what I'm saying. So he didn't do anything.
Wait,
He loved my Cher impression of it.
before we wrap it up, what brought me back is, I like to do Juicy Scoop history. And
Yeah.
Miss America, Miss USA, whatever. I still don't know. I think it was Miss America, which was always the classier one. No, it was because the winner sang, and that winner was Vanessa Williams.
She's the one who probably went on to do the most.
And she
Yeah.
But she was dethroned.
also the first, I think she was the first black woman to win.
Yeah.
And she was stunningly gorgeous, and she really had a good voice. Like, some of
Yeah.
them are not good singers, and she was like one that you're like, okay.
She's gone on to have like major hit records.
Yes. So 11 months into her time, and she had not gained weight. So she was seriously the most famous. She was getting sponsorships ever. She was on talk shows because she was talented and like could speak and was interesting. Is when the news breaks.
Nude photos.
Penthouse is going to publish these photos of her that she did before. And they were lesbian photos, lesbian-ish. My sister got the Playboy magazine.
I did
and I
too.
remember looking at it. And it wasn't really like, it was very posed. Like it was one girl's legs open and then like Vanessa's like tongue was barely touching like the vagina.
I remember
barely touching the
We
lip.
did that last night.
Like, it was like this. It was a very like her. It was like I just remember seeing that tongue, and the girl's legs were like that, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe like she's a lesbian. But looking back now, I'm like, they were so posed, and there were photos. It's not like what we
There was
saw
one-
on the
Where were they
porn
from?
channel
was it
here.
Like, was it? Did she do them just for money? Like I don't remember. I forget.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a
just
modeling.
a-
Yeah, she got talked into it, but I mean, they were more graphic than like. Remember when they found Madonna's? I'm like, as if that's a shock
Yeah.
that she did a topless photo when she was like 19.
No, I actually thought
this
Vanessa
was pretty
Williams
bad.
was pretty graphic. I remember that
They're
there was
pretty
one where
graphic.
she was like had her face in the girl's ass, like in
Yeah.
to eat.
And I think
like, I'm not kidding.
And also, I think that it was like a
At least
lesbian
she wasn't judging
thing.
her calves.
yeah, I wish.
I think being that it was a lesbian thing was like also way more shocking.
Yeah.
Like now it'd be like, oh my God, it's almost better that you were doing lesbian porn and didn't have a big giant dick in you. You know, you were just
Right.
rubbing one out on each other. Like
Right.
that seems like less offensive now. But then it was like, oh my God. And so then she was stripped of her crown.
And then went on to become probably the most successful of all the Miss
Definitely.
Americas.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Ugly Betty and all the things that she's done.
Yeah, she's done well for married Rick Fox for a long time from the
Who-
Lakers.
and now
right.
he's like an actor, a
well,
comedian.
he's been trying to be an actor for a long time.
Does he do stand up too? I feel like I'd see him at like comedy stores or something.
That's Kirk Fox. No, I'm not kidding. There's another.
There's
there's
a guy.
comedian.
Are they both?
Comedian.
No.
Yeah.
No, there's a tall, gorgeous black guy that used to play sports that is like an actor that I always also
Yeah, Rick
see.
Fox does some acting, but I don't think he does stand up.
No, I swear he's done some stand up.
Maybe he just
perhaps.
came to see you or something, or maybe he's been at the Comedy Store.
Yeah, he just wanted to be. You guys, thank you for taking an hour out of this 4-day trip that I treated you to
It is.
to do this podcast. I really appreciate it.
Right. We really appreciate it too.
Well, we really appreciate it as well, Heather. Well, this is a business trip.
So much
like
fun.
No other.
So much fun. And we canceled the dinner. We are going to eat here because we just want to enjoy our time
Yeah.
here.
That's
We're
what
in a bubble.
Drew. I already did
What's
it in the
he
beginning.
saying?
I gave the whole speech in the beginning that we're in a bubble. We've all been tested.
Yes.
We're 6 feet apart.
We're with the
and-
COVID fucking expert here.
Yeah, right. We
Yeah.
have the doctor of COVID.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's true.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Love you.
Go check on Josh Flagg.
So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I also wanted to tell you what happened later on after we finished filming. So our final night was Saturday night, and we had a beautiful dinner at the Casa Edwards with a chef that was probably the best dinner that we had the whole time, was actually staying at the house and enjoying the chef and the staff. And we were just drinking red wine, telling fun stories around the fire pit there. And it was about 10 o'clock, and I'm like, I'm going to get a great night's sleep. But the only way I'm going to get a great night's sleep is if I figure out how to turn off this little light in the room, because I like it real dark. So I brought Chris's wife, Liz, who's very bright, and I said she could probably figure it out. So she comes, and it takes her a minute, but finally she finds the switch, and now the room is completely dark. I'm like so excited to go to bed. So I go to my bathroom after we all go to bed. I go to the bathroom, I get ready. Peter's in the bed. I turn off the final light, and I'm walking to the bed, and I go, I am so excited how dark it is. And I trip and fall on this thing that was at the edge of the bed that I never realized was there, probably because I'd had a few margaritas. Really hurt my leg. But it was so hilarious because I literally just said, I can't believe how dark it is here. I'm so excited to go to sleep. And then it was like boom, boom. Anyway, luckily, my legs still look great. I'm still wearing shorts today, and I had a great night's sleep. But I wanted to tell you guys how you can get this amazing deal. So you go to bluedesertcabo.com and check out the places you'd like. Then you're going to email Blue Desert at bluedesertcabo.com and tell them you want to get the juicy deal, which is, get ready, guys. You can book 3 nights and receive 1 night complimentary, or why not book 5 and get 2 nights complimentary? With either booking, you also will receive complimentary daily breakfast and lunch cooking services, which is amazing, delicious. Eggs, bacon, sushi, everything you want. Groceries are not included, but the Blue Desert Concierge will shop for groceries, but then you pay for it at the end, which is also very reasonable. And then a complimentary bottle of Acre Mezcal, which was delicious. That's the restaurant we went to. A warm welcome arrival package includes special greeting, cold towels, chips and salsa, of course, guacamole, homemade guacamole, quesadillas, all that kind of stuff, margaritas. And the houses included in the special Blue Desert Dream package are Casa Edwards, which is where we stayed, Solaz, Casa Edwards 2, Casa Ria de Luna, Via Deserrito. Also, a disclosure management reserves all rights, and it's based on availability. So just work out the best deal for you, but it was amazing. And it was so nice that it was to be at just a private home. The gym was ridiculous. I'll post more photos. The place we stayed at had so many bedrooms. I think there was about 8 bedrooms, 6 which were like master suites with a large king bed or queen bed. So you can really, invite a few people and have a great time, or a lot of people rather. So I would check it out if you're thinking about something like that and you enjoyed what you saw from my social media. And the description will be in the description of the podcast and also in the YouTube. And and then on Thursday, I have also filmed and recorded. There is a really juicy interview with Dr. Drew and his wife, Susan. And let me just tell you, they have an amazing relationship that's going to give everybody a lot of hope, because their story is not what you think it would be. And I really think it's super interesting and probably something you would not know about Dr. Drew, even if you follow him a lot. So look forward to that on Thursday, guys.